So I remember the first time that I realized that white people had discovered the word unk. And then I realized they were using it incorrectly. And I was like, wow, I don't think that this year could get much worse after that. But just like putting sugar in grits, boy, was I wrong. Beyhive, come hither. Come sit on mama lap. Tell me, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? I have thoughts. I have many of them, actually. A whole legal pad worth. I had to really sit with my thoughts and really figure out what I was going to say. And I was like, you know what? Let me talk about this separate from everything else before I get back to my regularly scheduled programming. Let's chat because Jigga what? Jigga who? Let's talk about it. So look, I was talking to one of my homeboys today, and he was basically like, we hadn't talked since Sunday, right? And let me backtrack. Let's talk about what happened on Sunday. So, mind you, I recorded my first episode my first YouTube episode of Mommy Said a Bad Word, right? Because welcome to Mommy Said a Bad Word with Mindy J. I am your host, Mindy J. Like, hello, girl, we're losing the plot. So listen, before I get started, like and subscribe. That's a thing that you're supposed to do on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. If you're not looking on YouTube, and you're listening, you can view me on YouTube. My name on YouTube is Mommy Said a Bad Word, just like the podcast, right? But I am also available for streaming audio on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So now that that's over, let's get into it. So I had just recorded my first episode, my Renaissance episode, Word to Be. And that was on Saturday night. Sunday night, I'm scrolling on the socials as I often do. And I see something from what looks like a stand page that basically says that Jay-Z was accused of essaying. I will put what essay means. Schmexual assault. I don't know what I'm supposed to say on here, but I know on TikTok you can't say that. So schmexual assault. He was accused of it. And not just schmexual assault. Not that essay of any kind is okay, but it was the assault of a 13-year-old girl. Alongside P. Diddy in 2000 after the VMAs, right? And at first when I read it, I'm like, no, this gotta be some stuff, because if you've been on the app formerly known as Twitter and you've seen what Stan's post, I was just like, oh, this must be like some Stan War stuff, because even still, they have turned it into Stan War stuff. Right? But I was like, oh, this must be like some Stan War stuff, people trying to be funny, even though I don't think that's funny. But then I delve a little deeper because I'm like, who would joke about something like that though, right? And I delve and I see, child, this is on MSNBC, a credible news source, that Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, that is his real name, better known as Hove, also known as Jigga Man, is being accused of essaying a 13-year-old girl alongside P. Diddy. Now, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, Puffy, he is currently sitting in jail for, I believe, trafficking of the schmexual kind and assault and some other assault. Like, he has many cases. The limit does not exist on the cases against him right now. And I was just like, oh, this can't be. This can't be. Because I don't know about you, but me, as a woman, as a survivor of SA, I am automatically inclined to believe a victim. And especially when the alleged victim is 13. And then I was just like, this just gets complicated for me because this is Beyonce's husband. And I know that people have been waiting on his downfall. And I can't say that it's never crossed my mind. I won't say that it's never crossed my mind, right? That like, maybe there are some things attached to him, because a man of that stature, a man with that much money, them being evil and doing evil things is not like, oh, that just can't be. Like, it's nothing that I would be like, oh no way, right? So I'm like, oh, what's to it? But then as I read into the lawsuit, it did leave me with some questions. And I just want to talk about it from the standpoint of a Beyhive member, because at the end of the day, this is not Beyonce's doing. Her and Jay-Z weren't even together in 2000. I believe she had a boyfriend in 2000. She was a teenager in 2000. So this has nothing to do with her, but I know that it will fall back on her because she's married to this man, right? So let's get into it. I just want to talk about it. I want to get it out the way because I have a lot of thoughts. Like, I literally have a legal pad of thoughts because I had to sit with them. I had to sit with why are you feeling this way? Why are you processing things this way? How exactly do you think or expect this to go? I just had many feelings. And I feel like you can have nuanced feelings when it comes to things. But it's sometimes the internet makes you feel like you're not allowed to. So I want to talk about it on my platform because I am a bona fide Beyhive member since 1998, baby. Okay, I remember when I first heard Say My Name. That was the song that put me on to the Children of Destiny and what that means now with her husband and what this is alleging. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so basically Jay-Z is being accused, like I said, of SA of a 13-year-old girl alongside P. Diddy. The accusations are saying that in 2000, after the MTV VMAs, at an after party, basically Jay-Z graped, with minus the G, this 13-year-old at an after party while P. Diddy and an unnamed celebrity woman watched. Then let me read directly from NBC News. This article is written by Tim Stilo. I just don't want to get anything wrong. So basically it says that the plaintiff, who is the 13-year-old, she is going, well, she's not 13 now, but she was 13 at the time. She is going by Jane Doe. Basically, she says that in a lawsuit originally filed in October against Combs and was amended Sunday to include Carter as a defendant, she says that she met the two men after the VMAs. She'd been trying to get into the event, but she didn't have a ticket. So then she was trying to go to an after party, and she ended up approaching limousine drivers outside. And then one of the drivers said that he worked for Combs and basically told her that she was exactly what Diddy was looking for. She also alleges that the driver took her to an after party and she was told to sign what she believed was an NDA or non-disclosure agreement. She was then given a drink that made her feel woozy. And then she went to lay down in a room, and it's believed, or not believed, according to the lawsuit, then Jay-Z and P. Diddy entered. Jay-Z removed her clothes and assaulted her while P. Diddy and an unnamed female celebrity watched. Then it says that P. Diddy basically tried to force her to perform oral on him, and she hit him in the neck and he stopped, and then she grabbed her clothes, ran to a gas station, and called for her father. So those are the allegations against Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z did respond that same night, which a lot of people found suspicious, but I'll get into exactly what he said, okay? Okay, so Jay-Z released a statement the same night that this lawsuit, was revealed to the public that named Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z posted a statement to the official Roc Nation Instagram. I'm gonna read it for y'all, but this is some tiny font. TT needs some glasses. All right, so my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. Sorry, I had to read that correctly. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It makes me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of my people, the greed of people, not my people, child. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try and understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the victims of the world who have to watch their life story. Watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me that, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. So, he definitely wrote that himself. And I saw a lot of people had things to say about this, starting with the fact that he said he was a young man. I don't think that Jay-Z actually thinks that he is young. I think he was saying that he was a young man who made it out of the projects. Well, he said Project Marcy, but that's what he was saying. He wasn't saying that he's actually young now. Like, y'all drag that. But yeah, I saw a lot of people being like, oh, Jay-Z was so quick to release a statement. So that's what made me be like, okay, let me look a little bit more into it. Because I will say, Jay-Z doesn't just respond to stuff that quick. But it wasn't that quick in the grand scheme of things, because when you actually look into this case, Tony Busby, he had already filed a case in October with just Diddy's name on there, right? And according to Jay-Z and his legal team, basically sent a demand letter saying that they have this Jane Doe and they have other possible victims. And basically, if Jay-Z doesn't want his name in this case, to basically settle out of court. and give a certain amount of money. I'm not sure the amount of money that he wanted, but that's basically, he wanted him to pay out this victim in order for his name to not be included in the case or added to the case. And then, you know, it be brought to the public, essentially. And Jay-Z basically said no, he wasn't going to do that. And come to find out, he had filed a countersuit in November, on November 18th. But at the time, because it was a Jane Doe in this case, he filed his case under a John Doe, which we have now come to find out is Jay-Z, right? So in that case, he is suing Busby for extortion, basically saying, from my understanding, that Busby basically put out a hotline after the stuff with Diddy came out and, you know, the victims came forward. He basically put out a hotline like, hey, if you have any other stories that you want to be represented, let me know. So he said he sifted through these stories, and apparently this one with the alleged victim stood out to him. Jay-Z in that countersuit is basically saying he was going and looking for other high profile people to target, because now P. Diddy is in jail and there will be no payouts right now because he's sitting in jail. So he was looking for other high profile, according to this lawsuit, allegedly, he's looking for other high profile people to basically extort. Because that's what he's saying is happening, that he's extorting him. And Jay-Z is basically saying, I'm not going for it. If you want to take that shit to trial, get you 12 white folks and take that shit to trial, essentially. And the more that I looked into this Busby character, it's like, okay, he's shady. He is shady. I mean, many lawyers are, but it does look like he goes after, you know, these high profile situations. And that's when I started to be like, okay, I have questions. Because obviously, like I said, my first instinct is to believe a victim, regardless of who the perpetrator is married to. Even if he's married to my fave, my thought is to believe the victim. But I'm looking at this like, okay, we know that people have been trying to attach the Carters, Jay-Z and Beyonce, to this Diddy case from jump. Like, people have been wanting them to be guilty as soon as we realized that P. Diddy was going down, they wanted them to go down as well. Why? I'm not entirely sure, right? But they're like, oh, Jay-Z next. And we have to take that into consideration when we are deciding if someone is truly innocent until proven guilty, because a lot of people have made this man guilty in their mind. Regardless of what evidence is going to be presented, this man has always been guilty in their mind. And even if he beats this case and comes out on the other side proven completely innocent, or I won't say completely, proven innocent in the court of law, people, you know, he still is guilty in the court of public opinion. And I think Busby knows that. I think Busby knows a lot about the court of public opinion. I think that's why he did this, right? I'm not saying that why he filed, but why he did things the way that he did. Because it's very peculiar to me that this comes out right before, the night before our sweet baby Blue is set to hit the red carpet for the premiere of her movie Mufasa, which is a Lion King movie where she voices Kiara. That's very peculiar to me, because you've been sitting on this for a while, right? You've been sitting on this when he said he's not going to give you the money back in October, November, you could have been put this out, but you're very calculated, which means you are counting on the court of public opinion, right? Also, we know that Beyonce is set to take the stage on the 25th in the good state of Texas, where this is being filed, right? She's set to take the stage at the Houston Texans halftime show, right? And since this Diddy stuff had came out, people have been running rampant with the conspiracy theories, right? Because I'm watching as this has hit the limelight. I'm watching people become Jaguar Wright apologists again, right? Which Jaguar Wright, bless her heart, she's unwell, and I think y'all know that. She is wrong 90% of the time. She's right 10% of the time. And I think of the 10% of the time that she's right, 9% of that is by chance. She's right by chance. Not because she's just the almighty, all-knowing Jaguar Wright. Because it just so happened that she got it right. And y'all take that and y'all take her word as Bible. She is unwell. I see people talking about Kathy White with Blue, because Blue was at the premiere, which that happened on Monday. Which we'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about that on my weekly episode, because the way that y'all handled that to me was very nasty. Y'all made She's Only 12 trend. Why are y'all sexualized? Like, my baby Blue has been bullied since birth, and it's really unfortunate, and that's what makes me be like, what's going on? But I can acknowledge that, you know, P. Diddy did come out when Cassie first filed her suit against him. Diddy did come out strong. Diddy came out swinging, right? And it was a lot of people that said, oh, this is a ploy for money, yada yada yada, right? And we soon learned that it was not just a ploy for money. Diddy did her very, very wrong. A video came out after the case was settled. A video did come out and we just got a glimpse of the abuse that Diddy put our sweet girl Cassie through, because Cassie suffered under his hand, right? And then there's the argument of you are the company that you keep, right? Because people are saying that you know, Jay-Z was close to Puffy, which, how close were they really? Like, I genuinely, how close were they really? Were they really just friends? Or did they come up around the same time? And, you know, because I know Jay-Z was cool with Biggie, right? Again, we can get into the fact that I did not grow up on Jay-Z. Okay, my parents are older. We was not listening to that in the household. So a lot of what I know about Jay-Z comes from me going out and searching for it myself. And also the fact that he was married to my fave. So I inevitably learned more about him, right? But how close are him and Puff, right? Are they really that close, or are y'all just tying them together? Because at the end of the day, nothing about Jay-Z and Beyonce was found. Like, no evidence was found in Puff's house, or, you know, all the evidence that they found to build a case against Diddy and his parties and all of that. None of that was found, you know, that could place the Carters there. So I'm kind of confused on how we just decided that they were the best of friends. But whatever, they have been pictured around each other. We know that they were at the brunch. Jay-Z has shouted out Ciroc before on a song. But with the idea that, oh, you know, he did hang with abusers, because there are a lot of abusers in the industry, and it's not lost on me that you know, Jay-Z could be one, or could have been one, right? He made a whole song about having to die to self and become a better man to save his family, right? But I think we can risk going into a slippery slope when we just like, oh, you know, he was connected to this person, or they're connected to that person, because it's a lot of people pictured with Diddy. It's a lot of people who went to the Rock Nation brunch, baby. It's a lot of abusers who we see, you know, with our faves all the time. And it's like, we just have to be careful with that, in my opinion. I'm trying to, my dog is over here terrorizing me. But, look, he wants some attention so bad. Please let me get through this. Anyway, since then, Jay-Z has basically requested that the judge, you know, make the Jane Doe identify herself. He is not looking to move forward with the anonymous, you know, plaintiff. He wants her to reveal herself, and I've seen a lot of people saying that that's a manipulation tactic. And I could see where people might get that idea because, you know, if her identity is revealed, that might be prime. Stop. That might be a cause for her to want to back down, right? She doesn't want people to know who she is. It also could bring around bullying, harassment. Let's not pretend we don't know the internet. I'm not in that area of stan culture where I'm going to sit and harass people online, but I know many people who will, okay? Many people who will, and if they know who she is, it is the possibility of that. So I get that. But at the same time, I also understand the idea that do y'all have a dog? Because they just be doing anything. Like, what are you doing? I also understand that if someone is making these type of claims about me, I understand wanting to face them, because to say such heinous things about me and to allude to it, and if I'm truly innocent, right? And this is if he's innocent. If he's innocent, I can understand wanting to face them, because what? Like, what are you even saying about me? Now, that's if he's innocent. If not, then yeah, it's absolutely a manipulation tactic. But I get it. How do you get to say such evil, heinous things about me if I didn't do it, but I can't even know who you are? I get it, but I see both sides with it. And to that point, you know, and I just find it very interesting that if Jay-Z was truly investigated by the Alphabet Boys, like he says, right? The FBI, the CIA, and the IRS. Nobody found any of this. The FBI and the CIA didn't find any of this. It draws questions, but I'm not going to say that it's not true. I'm not going to say that it's not possible, but I do feel like I need more information, and I look forward to more evidence coming forward so that I can really see how I feel about things. Because from one aspect, I know what men are capable of, especially men with power and money. There are no ethical billionaires, in my opinion. There are no to be a billionaire, you have to step on a lot of people. You truly do. And now I do feel if anybody's going to be a billionaire, it should be Black people, because of what our ancestors have been through in this country. But billionaire, regardless of color, hoarding that amount of wealth, you're questionable, in my opinion. I don't believe that billionaires should exist, right? But at the same time, this guy is looking like a fraud. Tony Busby is looking weird. This is a man who has allegations against him outside of Jay-Z. He has his own allegations, right? People who are from the Texas and Houston area are saying that he's a known con artist, right? He's known to go after these cash grabs. He's also a big Trump donor, a big MAGA donor, right? And Beyonce and Jay-Z are notoriously Democrats. You know, they have been notoriously anti-Trump since 2016. They had a concert here in Cleveland for Hillary Clinton, trying to help her win. And of course, Beyonce came out for Kamala. So they're notoriously anti-Trump. And And they know this Busby guy knows about the court of public opinion. He knows what people have been saying. That when this Diddy thing happened, people were saying Beyonce, she knows this. They were accusing her of unaliving Aaliyah. Aaliyah, may her soul rest. They were accusing her of that, right? We know the things that people like Jaguar Wright have said about the Carters, right? We also know the people like the Sloan Bellas of the world, which I have thoughts about her, but we won't get into that. I just know that if I were in the spirit realm, I know who I'll be talking to, and it ain't a white woman, but that's just me. That's just me. And it's very interesting that the stuff that I see go viral with her always has to deal with black celebrities. Like, why are they talking to you, of all people, of all the mediums, all the hoodoo practitioners, all those people? They're talking to you? Okay, all right, I guess. But you know, people eat that up. People love that confirmation bias. People have been saying that these people, the Carters, are demonic since, you know, the early 2000s with the Illuminati stuff. And people can come on here. Look, I have my opinions, right? You can come on here and spread your opinions, and people are going to confirmation bias, right? It's rough. It's hard. And I just want more information because it's feeling like a scheme that Ty set up. But then it's like, do I have my blinders on? Do I have my blinders on? Am I missing the bigger picture? I do hope that if this is true, I do hope that the victim gets justice. Absolutely, because this is absolutely heinous, absolutely gross. This is not true. At least in the sense that Jay-Z is proven innocent in a court of law, if it makes it that far to trial. What does that mean in the court of public opinion? Because I know many in the court of public opinion have already deemed him guilty. And many have already deemed him innocent, right? What does that mean moving forward? And what does that mean for me as Beyhive? There has always been this idea that Beyonce was groomed by Jay-Z. How much of that is true, I don't know. She says that they got together when she was, 20? They met when she was 16. At the time, I believe she had a boyfriend. So, but you know, people always have things to say. Unless Beyonce, because y'all are trying to tie Beyonce to this too. Mind you, this was allegedly happened in 2000. Beyonce was a teenager in 2000, and Beyonce was not with Jay-Z at that time. So the way that y'all are trying to say, oh yeah, she knows, she knew, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. If Jay-Z is truly this monster that he is being painted out to be, are there things that she knows about? Potentially, but only time will tell. And if you know things come out, I don't think that they will, but if things ever came out about BB and abuse, yeah, I don't even want to think about that. But I don't think anybody is above critique, and I don't think anybody is above being held accountable. But as of right now, I'm I'm sticking with B, okay? I'm a Beyonce fan. Jay-Z, I tolerated Jay-Z because that was my girl's nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like when your friend is with her man and you know she not leaving her man, because if it was up to me, she would have been out after Lemonade, right? But it ain't up to me. She said, he mine, and I'm going to stick beside him. And I don't know what that means, because if he were to be found guilty of this, do you think she's leaving? I don't. And then what? Where do we go from there? Right? Where do we go from there? I don't know. It's rough. It's a big conversation to be had.